Gary's introduction. On this crisp Thursday morning, I hope to impart a bit of wisdom with the crispness of my talk. I'd like to introduce Gary Ratcliffe.
Discrimination causes a parasitic erosion of a nation's society. Discrimination, racism, and prejudice are all words that describe a cancerous organism that erodes the very fabric of society. Ladies and gentlemen, ask yourselves a question. Am I prejudiced against my fellow citizens? And if the answer is not a resounding yes, then are you being truthful? Many of us claim that I'm not prejudiced, but maybe my parents were. That's a fair statement. But let's go back to when we were children. Not teenagers, but let's go way back to some of our earliest memories and how we learned how to do something. How did we learn to do that? We copied someone. We mimicked someone. We noticed some action and we copied that action. Think of a baby waving bye-bye. Why do they wave like this? Because that's what they see and they copy. Watch how your children walk. Who do they most mimic in their gait? Typically, it's the dominant parent. How many of us have realized at some point in our lives that we've become remarkably similar to our parents in our thoughts, our actions, our values, and our prejudices? We still may say, oh no, not me. Really? Think about some of the following statements. I'm not trying to offend. Asian Americans are bad drivers. Jewish Americans are cheap. Puerto Rican Americans are not very smart. African Americans are lazy. Still not convinced? Consider this. Have you ever taken a second unfavorable look at an interracial couple? How would you feel as a parent if your child married outside of their race? If you see a group of teenage boys in baggy clothing, what goes through your mind? There are a few pictures going around the room of some children. Tell me, which one do you think is my grandson? I highlight these issues not to point a finger or to place blame, but to raise awareness. I want to focus on a few key issues. The first is that discrimination is a learned weakness. As children, we're born with a clean palate. Our knowledge is virgin. Our only prejudices are safety and hunger. We seek love, understanding, and acceptance. At such an early age, our feelings are virgin. We are easily hurt and saddened, especially when we're teased or ignored. Am I conjuring up some old memories for some of us? I hope so. If you can remember back that far, were you harassed or were you the provoker? But it was all in fun, right? My next point is that discrimination, racism, and prejudice are acquired traits and they take application and repetition to master. Why do we learn them? Because it makes us feel superior to others? Or maybe we don't like different people. Who knows? Only we know why we disapprove of someone just because they're different. Critical self-evaluation will yield an answer, but we may not like that observation. One thing I give society credit for is that in times of crisis, we are all brothers and sisters. We will brave screaming rapids to rescue a person in distress. We risk life and limb to aid the ill-fated. We are extraordinary souls with an unflappable zeal to grow, excel, and survive that's likened to a new star birthing in the heavens. With focus and determination, we can achieve anything that we choose. We launch people into outer space. We've rescued men from the deepest bowels of the earth. We forgave a former homeless drug and alcohol abuser who had a God-given talent for voice and welcomed him back into our bosom. Hope everyone saw that YouTube video, by the way. Society can forgive, then how do we learn to accept our differences and live as the society we were meant to? We are a society with an epic history. We could not have survived without the contributions of our diverse heritage. For instance, Flossie Wong Stahl is a Chinese American who was awarded a patent for her process to test for AIDS. Thomas Edison gave us the light bulb, the phonograph, and a patented system for electricity distribution. A Hispanic American, Carlos Noriega, had a distinguished career as a Marine Corps pilot and an astronaut. We have our first African American president. The contributions of these individuals have made a great country even greater. We must not allow their accomplishments to go for naught. Instead of discrimination, we must practice tolerance. The opposite of racism is the true nobleness of democracy. Forget dislike and strive to understand. Eliminate prejudice and we will extol the virtues of respect. If we learn to value our diversity and our differences, we can elevate humankind to the heavens in terms of honor. We all share the same planet, and until we start our own individual planets, let's encourage the steadfast values of tolerance, democracy, understanding, and respect.